A lot of people have asked me if this is the angle where 5 Things is going to stay, and I gotta say, I like it a lot. I like it even more after I tried some alternate shooting locations. This is, oh, now I'm hungry. This is 5 Things. Hey everyone, this is 5. This is 5. This is 5 Things. This. So it's pretty clear there's no other place this is going to work. And there are some things we're going to have to ignore. This is 5 Things. The first thing this week was sent to me by a viewer, and I'll be damned if I can remember who it was, but whoever that person is, Joe Bernard has you to thank for this feature. Take it away, Joe.
It seems my world is getting darker, the hours getting longer, and all I want to do is go outside.
Joe is a 17-year-old who is majoring in contemporary songwriting and production at Berklee School of Music. He writes original songs, but he also writes covers. What the f?
We had our minds set. All things know, all things know. You had to find it.
Joe has been rejected by the YouTube Partnership Program 3 times. In the last 2 months, he's released 7 original songs on his channel. As someone who's been denied by the Partnership Program twice, I can feel his pain. Hopefully YouTube will get their act together and recognize your hard work soon, Joe. Keep it up. Choosing to feature a GameSpot character voting contest has burned me in the past because after I said that Gladys would easily cinch the greatest game villain of all time contest, it came down to her and Darth Vader, as in Darth Vader from the Super Nintendo game Empire Strikes Back. Guess who won? Kids these days have no idea what a good villain is, but they do know who Darth Vader is. So if you follow the link in the info, you'll find the first round of voting is open on the Greatest Video Game Sidekick contest. If it were up to me, I'd say it should come down to Luigi and Alex Vance. I mean, greatest game dynasty of all time versus my personal favorite video game of all time? Yes, please. Make sure you have a GameSpot account so that you can vote, and don't vote for Navi. I did a little World of Warcraft live streaming last night. Shalana was talking about all the cutesy anime shows that she's watched. I haven't watched that many shows, but I am pretty familiar with Japanese anime films, and my favorites are by Studio Ghibli. Hayao Miyazaki, a legendary Japanese animator, has made Oscar-winning animated films like Spirited Away. And now he's making an RPG for the PlayStation 3.
この少年が世界を救うというのか。
This game is called Ni no Kuni in Japanese. Translation, please? And as of yet, there's no info on an American or even an English language release, but that could change if interest in the game peaks, so I'm doing what I can. In 1989, Marty McFly went back to the future again and saw some pretty sweet frickin' shoes. Now, thanks to an internet campaign and 6 years worth of reverse engineering, you will soon be able to wear those shoes.
Wow, man, this is heavy.
Not heavy at all. It's actually quite light. Speaking of lights.
And for some reason Bill Hader is advertising for them. Someone give that guy a movie. I don't really know why anyone would want a pair of shoes like this, but just the fact that they exist is pretty sweet. I mean, that's the power of the internet right there. Small, weird interest groups go.
Great Scott.
And finally, I've got a tiny chainsaw.
I've got a tiny chainsaw in my pocket. It's easy to start it, but it's hard to stop it. You can cut tiny trees to make tiny houses, but be careful when you put it back in your trousers. It goes
I gotta be careful where I leave that thing. That guy makes other good videos too. You should check out his entire channel. And that does it for 5 Things this week. Sorry for the lack of server videos, but the server's kind of in limbo until 1.8 comes out. Make sure you follow me at shawnvmartin on Twitter, and I'll see you next week.
Yay! Yay!
Joe is a 17-year-old. Joe is a 17-year-old who's majoring in contemporary. Joe is a 17-year-old who's majoring in contemporary songwriting and production. Joe is a 17-year-old who's majoring. Joe is a 17-year-old who is majoring in contemporary songwriting and production at Berklee College of Music. Joe is a 17-year-old who is majoring in. Joe is a 17-year-old who is majoring in contemporary songwriting and production at Berklee School of Music. He writes original songs, but he also writes covers. What the fuck?